Hello, 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 hello. Okay, if you guys are on your computer, try to turn at the bottom of the chat. It says to all panelists. Change that to say to all panelists and attendees so everybody can see your comments and your questions. It makes it a lot easier for us. However, we'll go ahead and read any questions you guys have aloud as well. Hey, Abby. Oh my God. Let me make this full screen so I can see all of the goodness.
I know. I feel like I need a couple more screens right now.
I know. I'm like, hi.
I've got it full screen and then all the other panels open on my other.
I need to be doing
Try
that.
to show off.
Oh,
Always.
that's like my display is so big.
7 displays. And on my other one, I'm just watching Game of Thrones while.
I'm watching. No spoilers. We're gonna wait until Sunday. Hold on.
I know.
Wait, you're waiting till Sunday to watch last Sunday's episode?
No, the next one just got leaked again. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This coming episode just got leaked. Yeah.
Guys,
I'm
I've
going to
never
watch it
watched
right now.
Game of Thrones.
Me neither.
Jamie.
I also have not watched Game of Thrones.
Jamie, I just started like trying to watch it, but I'm having such a hard time. And so then I just wanted to catch up, so I was just gonna read descriptions.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was like reading a novel. Like I was gonna have to read novels to get caught up.
There are actual novels too.
Yeah, a lot of
You can just read the book.
I've got enough to do with however many seasons are out. Like I'm never gonna catch up.
Never ever.
Do I see Kayla? Hi.
There we go, Kayla.
Hey.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, we just got wider. We're not Brady Bunch anymore.
Yeah, we need 2 more.
We're more iconic than the Brady Bunch, let's be honest. If that's possible. I
I
don't
have a spot to put my chat now, though.
stretching.
Cassie's here. Just promote her to panelist. She can join us.
She can come party with us.
Well, I'm gonna take another picture because everyone's here now. All right.
I'm going to take a picture too.
Okay, guys, we're going to give it like 2 or 3 more minutes and then we'll get started. I just want to make sure that anybody coming in is able to be here before we get started.
I love you, Kevin.
Enthusiasm,
Kevin's the best.
I just really think it's important that I look epic in every picture.
I agree.
It is.
It's really, really important.
Good life philosophy.
Man.
Hey,
Kevin, I want to know where your beer is, Kevin. You promised you would have a beer.
Oh, he's drinking one.
This is it's about to be beer number 2. You guys might meet Rob for a second because I'm definitely gonna text him and be like, please bring me another beer.
I'm gonna ask
That's how I came prepared.
Hey, Emily.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah, Rob, I definitely got a 6-pack right before, but
So can we post the link to like our page in case I want to like impulsively hop on?
Yep, you can post the same link.
Okay. I'm
Now
gonna-
it's open, anybody will be able to join.
that it's the link that you sent us that made us have to wait.
Emily Carr is here, our supermodel.
Emily.
Ooh, that's
Our
awesome.
supermodel,
I'm so excited about her.
model abilities. She posted it in the group. Straight up the nose shot. Classic.
I love this. She's awesome.
Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. And then this will be recorded for anybody who misses it. They can catch up later. So anything that you guys don't want saved for the rest of eternity, loud.
Don't do it.
First off, thank you guys so much for coming. I'm so excited. I think this is one of the biggest webinars that us at Babetown has ever held. So I'm super excited about it.
Actually, it's one of the biggest webinars that's ever been.
Of all time.
Breaking world records.
The biggest crowd ever.
The most epic webinar there ever was.
And also the least serious webinar that you've ever attended. Probably just gonna make me laugh the whole time. So don't take us too seriously. So what I have planned tonight is a chance for all of you to get to know what's going to happen at the Safe House workshop, get to know all of the amazing faces that are going to be educating there and that you're going to be spending so much time with. And also kind of answer any questions that you have about the workshop. I know a lot of you have kind of been on the fence, wanting to know if you're ready to take the plunge into education and investing in your business. So hopefully we can answer a lot of those questions for you today. So the way that it's going to go is that I will go ahead and name each educator, and they'll go ahead and introduce themselves, let you guys know what they're going to teach at Safehouse and why they're passionate about that subject. And then once that happens, I will go ahead and open up the floor for questions, whether you have questions about the Safehouse workshop specifically, or if you have questions for a specific educator about the subject that they're teaching or something similar. I think it's always awesome for you guys to be able to walk away with something actionable, to be able to learn and implement in your business. So we want to keep those questions to a minimum, just because as much as we'd like to, we can't be here forever. But if you have a burning question that you want to ask any of our amazing educators or myself about the Safe House workshop, make sure to plug it in the chat box when it's time. So I'm just going to, I know all of our organization is a little bit different, but I'm just going to run through the order that I see in front of me so it can be a total surprise. And lucky for Twyla, she is to my left here. So Twyla, do you want to go ahead and get started with your courses?
Okay. Yes. So I am teaching a few classes at this point, I think. I'm doing 2 different classes that are intimate couple sessions indoors. One of the sessions we will have 2 models at the same time, and this will be shot in the studio. And I am really excited to just share that session with everybody, just because I feel like some people are kind of intimidated by that type of shoot, but I want to show just like really how easy it is and like how you can draw inspiration just from like your everyday, or, you know, if you don't have a partner, like really great places to look for that also, but just show how like easy it is to capture that like authentic connection, even if it's in a room full of like 15 other people. So that's really fun to do. And then the other one we get to do at the Urban Cowboy B&B, which I'm so excited about. It's got that bronze bathtub. We've got a super awesome couple for that one. And again, we'll just be like lounging around the room, having like these intimate moments, and then we're gonna jump in the bathtub. And then also we will be doing, I'm gonna do an editing class. So anything and everything you wanna know from me about editing, we'll be going over. So a lot of workflow, which is really important so that you can be fast at whatever it is you do. And that's really important for me because Lola and Chad know, you guys are here for me, Lola and Chad. I shoot so much, so I have to be fast at like culling through those and efficient in my workflow to get my sessions out. And then of course like the editing parts. And if it's possible, I forget which day I'm doing editing, but I would love to be able to edit images that we've shot. That way if you need help editing anything while at the workshop, we get to go over those together. And then lastly, I get to do a boudoir shoot with Jessica Rasmussen. She's down there for me. I'm probably just pointing to somebody else.
Pointing to Lauren.
And that's going to be really awesome. We've been, huh?
You're pointing to Lauren on mine, but it's okay.
Well, so Jessica and I have been talking about what to do with this shoot. I think we're going to get about 3 different models for this boudoir class. And I just love the idea of collaboration with other artists. And I also think it's really important to do, like, if you are in a creative rut or something, being able to feed off of somebody else and just kind of like inspiring each other as you go, which everybody will have the opportunity to do while we're there, because you're going to have these models at your disposal anyway. So we'll be working together on that. And then because we have 3 people, we can also split up, and we'll just, I think, go with the flow for that session. But I also want to have some time to pose all 3 together, which I think will be really fun. And definitely had something else to say about that, but I forgot. Anyway, it's gonna be an awesome shoot. Oh, I know what it was. I have learned just from teaching these live shoots that sometimes it's difficult to take in everything if you're trying to shoot while the instructor is trying to shoot. So for me, I'm going to try and have people observe while I'm working with the couples. So you can really kind of like take in and observe the moments and then give you free time to do that yourself. So you're going to be able to apply the things that you've learned by watching and by what I've told you beforehand, and kind of apply those, or just again, like, you know, how Jessica and I are going to work feeding off of each other, like getting inspired from the things we're doing. That's going to happen for you too, as you watch like me with the couple. That's going to inspire you, and you're going to have like way better shots than me, you know, just like watching that. And I think that we're all just gonna like elevate each other, working off of each other like that. So I think that's all. Unless Lola like gives me something else to do, I'll do it.
Yeah, and one thing that Twyla didn't mention is that we have put a big weight on diversity within our models, and so her couple shoot is with the same sex couple. So that's going to be absolutely amazing, which will give you guys the opportunity. I know I hear from you guys all the time in our group when we talk about diversity within our portfolios, that you are struggling with finding a same-sex couple. You really want to shoot it, but you are struggling with getting the opportunity. So this will give you the opportunity to put that in your portfolio and then to go out there and embrace the LGBT as well. So I did want to add that. Okay, Kevin, you're to my right, so you're next.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I was really hoping to go last and copy everyone else's. Okay, hi, I'm Kevin Lowry, and I'm going to be teaching about intimate male portraits and breaking boundaries in your photography. It's like so intimidating to go after Twilight because she's like such a master. I'm just not gonna like. She's right here to me. I'm just don't
whatever.
But so
I'm ditching all my classes and just going to watch Kevin. So.
Yeah. So you guys in Twilight's classes, you're on your own because she's gonna be hanging out with me. So so I'm teaching about intimate. I think I'm teaching a couple times about intimate male portraits, and just about sort of not being afraid to. I feel like the theme of my life in photography has really just become about like saying F this to everything I'm scared of and doing what I want to do. And I'm going to talk about why it's important to do that, because freeing myself of things I was scared of when I just kind of, as I've been starting photography, has been one of the most liberating things for me in terms of being an artist, and it's been one of the best things for my business. So we're gonna talk a lot about that. And then so if you're not familiar with my work, I posted a ton in the group just so that you all the babes there can see it and sort of get a feel for what my point of view. But a couple of years ago, I started a project that I called Skin Like Dawn. And the phrase "skin like Dawn" actually it comes from a Maya Angelou that if you just Google that, you can find it. But so I had this idea that that men are not really allowed to ever be vulnerable, and that we can look at women in art or art of women and or imagery of women, and it can be really beautiful. But in terms of men, if you see art that depicts men, it always has to be about sex and aggression and hypermasculinity. And I really just wanted to topple that on its head and look at guys through a different lens and put guys in really vulnerable situations, which for me the easiest way to understand and wrap my head around that was to make them be naked. And so that's kind of where I started and the place that I've started from, and I feel like over my journey with the Skin Like Dawn project, I've sort of it's kind of grown the same way that I think I have. It's super personal for me, this work, because I grew up in a little small town in Georgia, in a super conservative small town, in a super conservative family, and I was a fabulous gay child trying to understand why he's so different. And I still have I have super vivid memories of my dad as you're growing up saying things don't bend your wrist that way. People are gonna think you're you know, like a little girl or being, you know, whatever. And of course, you know, I have like memories from like high school of, you know, of being bullied because I was like, I'm like a lot more feminine than a lot of guys. And so for me, what this project has become super personal to me because it's really sort of been a way for me to like, it's been therapeutic for me in a way because it's a way for me to sort of unpack all of this baggage that I have around masculinity. And I think that what I've been able to do with it is really just explore in a really safe way what it means and how cool it can be when guys like sort of shed this like hyper masculinity that they're expected to carry around and just be be them and be real. And so that's sort of the inspiration and the lens that and the starting point that I start all of my male portraits with, and why it's so personal to me. So you know, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. And yeah, and there'll be I have some really cool male models who will be joining us, and I think it's going to be really fun. So come pick me and be all my classes.
Yeah, everybody's gonna leave my shoes.
I know. I gotta be able to. So while we're looking for the naked guys, so.
And can we tell them about the diversity in your models?
Oh yeah, okay. So I have 3 models confirmed, and one is getting back to me, and he's based on availability. But I have a beautiful African American man who I've actually he's a friend of mine, and I've posted some photos of him before, and he's amazing, named Rasan. And I have a really nice guy that is going to come who is white, and he is a little fluffier and so cute and sweet, and has this like really I don't know, in all the pictures that I ever see of him, it's like his personality like explodes through them, and so I'm probably most excited about working with him. And then I have a really nice white male who's going to be coming, who is a dancer, so his body is beautiful. And I'm excited about working with him because from what I've gotten, or for the feedback I've gotten from people who I've never worked with a dancer before, and so I just feel like it'll be really cool because I feel like they're able to like really translate a lot of intention into the way they move their bodies. And then the 4th guy that he's letting me know actually tomorrow morning if he's going to be available to come is a really handsome Asian American man who's gonna named Robert. So. I think we have a pretty diverse group of guys, and so yeah, I'll be working with all of them to sort of show how my process is really the same for every one of them. But yeah, so that'll be it.
Awesome. If you guys can't tell, the diversity in our models is one of the things that I am most proud of and most excited for. We have a lot of different ethnicities, a lot of different sexual orientations. We have a lot of different body types. So I am super excited about that.
Oh, and I think half of mine are straight and half of them are gay, but I actually don't know about 2 of them. They might be gay. We'll see. We'll see.
Evan's gonna check it out for
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, does anybody have a straight model in here?
I know at least one of mine is straight, so we'll see.
Hopefully not, Chad. Chad, speaking of you, you're next.
Well, I was gonna answer Beth's question. Oh.
I already did in the Q&A.
Okay. Well, fine. Jeez.
I know.
Never mind. Can everyone see the Q&A when we answer them though?
No. So
Okay.
if you guys are having questions during this time, pop it in the Q&A box, and then once everyone's done, I'll go through and kind of dish them out to the group.
Okay. Well, Twyla and I have been answering them on text, so we can read over
Just
them.
read them out loud. Just read them out loud.
Okay. We'll do it. So my name is. Did you say that I'm next, or am I just taking?
No, you're next.
Okay. My name is Chadwick Braithwaite. I'm teaching 2 classes. One is called Better Than IPS. Basically, I've never ever. IPS is a new thing I just learned about like a year ago. Even though I've been doing sales since I started 12 years ago, IPS is a weird thing to call it to me because in-person sales it sounds weird because I started in film and there was never that option. It's always just been the way it is, and it's been sales. I hate the name in-person sales, and when people say it, it makes me cringe, only because I feel like out-of-person sales isn't really a thing. So in-person sales is a weird name, and in-person IPS has a very bad connotation. For those of you who have been in an IPS group, everyone gets really angry when you don't charge $1,000 for a 5x7 or $200 for a low-res file. And if you're not making $5,000 for every sale, you're doing it wrong. And they get really angry about that. But that's how we did it back in the day. That's how we did it 12 years ago with film. You didn't really get the choice of sending your files. It cost more. But now that digital has changed, I have very much tried to evolve my pricing and my sales along with it. So we're going to go over pricing. We're going to go over sales. But we're also going to go over a new way. I hate saying new because it's not. But the way that I've kind of integrated digital, because IPS, and I'm saying that in air quotes, hasn't changed since back then, and I think it should, because digital has changed everything. So it's kind of a cross between people allowing digital, because it's impossible now. And I would say, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it definitively, but there's still going to be 10 people that are like, I never do it. But it's impossible to do a sale or a portrait session without them wanting the digital images anymore. It's next to impossible. I shoot seniors, and every one of them want the digital files. They don't really care. They want them on their phone. The parents want the prints. So I've learned to kind of create a system of sales that makes both sides happy. And we're going to talk about that, go over pricing, and we're going to go over how to create your pricing instead of just asking everyone else how you price and what their prices are and then just matching it. There is a correct way of building your pricing, and it depends on everyone's business is different. So we're going to go over that, and it's going to be a lot more of a business side talk. My next one is called Headshots and Studio Lighting. And what we're going to do is go over how to do studio lighting outside. I know everyone I'm a natural light photographer, but studio lighting is so much easier than natural light. Natural light, you can't change. You can't do anything about it. You only get what you get. Studio lighting, I get to do whatever I want, wherever I want, all the time. I can shoot at night. I can shoot in the day. I can shoot harsh light, and I can use my studio. So we're going to start in studio and just do some nice clean headshots and really use that time to give everyone a chance that they can get some cool headshots for their website and promotional stuff. Also, we're going to use each other as models and give headshots to each other. But also I have some some people with ProPhoto and sponsored by that are coming in and going to be talking about the ProPhoto lights. Not really selling on it, but just telling how to use it. I'm going to be showing you how to do that, and then I'm hoping, I know we've talked about this, I don't know if they've ever said it's a yay or nay, but hoping to go upstairs on the roof and maybe shoot some studio lights with an outside and natural and studio light mix. And my couple, just because I know we were talking about this, I have a couple that's actually going to come in and be our headshot people. He's actually an actor and does music and stuff. I grew up with him in high school, and he just moved to New York and just recently got engaged. Him and his fiance now, they both want to come, and they live right a few blocks away. So I invited them, and they're coming over. They're an awesome couple. But then we're going to be using each other and kind of talking about studio lighting and how to mix it with also your natural light stuff.
Awesome. And yeah, Chad's couple is a same-sex couple as well. And at the studio, we do have, as he mentioned, we do have a whole roof deck. Is that what that's called? Rooftop to use. Mm-hmm. And so Chad has access during his teaching to the studio as well as the rooftop. So he'll be moving you guys around quite a bit to get to know how to use all that. Awesome.
Can I add one thing about how valuable his class is? Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, the IPS one, but just the headshot class, because like maybe it's not stuff you're going to throw in your portfolio that you're shooting, obviously, like headshots, whatever, of a car dealership, but you can make so much money to pay for like coming to workshops like this or buying a new camera or whatever.
I pay all my bills every month with, and I'll be honest, it's boring stuff. It's headshots for car dealerships.
But it's so easy too. I mean, it's way easier than trying to do a family session or any, it's kind of like pushing a button, and that's about it.
I have a real estate agency that hires 30 to 40 new people a month, and I shoot all their headshots. So it's almost every day I shoot one headshot, and my bills for the month are paid just with and I'd probably say it's maybe 3 hours of work.
Wow.
So and I will admit, it's not my sexy stuff. It's not the stuff I put on my website ever. but it's definitely the stuff that pays all my bills.
That sounds delicious.
Kevin.
I'm coming to your class.
We're gonna do sexy headshots though.
All right.
Kevin, we'll take your headshots.
Okay, so I'm gonna start back over this end. For me, it's Lauren.
All right, so hi, I'm Lauren Laveria, and I'm going to be teaching capturing love and emotion through engagement photography. And I've been doing photography for 5 years, and I literally started just by wanting to capture emotion in photos because I used to do self-portraits. I focused on doing emotion through expressing myself through photos. So I figured once I started shooting other people, that's what it is that drew me to photography in the first place. So I wanted to be able to capture people's emotions, their expressions, their feelings. I wanted to be able to make it to where you see a photo and you can feel exactly what that person is feeling in that moment. So once I started turning into wedding and engagement photography, I fell in love with love. I fell in love with weddings. I can't imagine doing anything else with my time, to be honest. So doing engagements, just another way of expressing emotion and just seeing the two people that are going to be, you know, they're in love. They're going to pledge their lives to each other. You know, you want to see that chemistry between them and you want to be able to show it off just in the right exact way because every person loves in a different way. So you don't want each one of your sessions to constantly be looking different because each person's different. Each person has their own story to tell. So I'll be helping you guys learn how to evoke emotion through your clients and why it's so important to actually show your own emotion as a photographer because how you shoot actually can affect your client. Imagine if you're just shooting there and you're just like making faces, you know, at your camera, they're going to be like, oh, something's wrong. But versus if you're just like, oh my God, this is awesome. They're going to get excited because they know the photos are looking good. That's just something extra that I wanted to teach about as well. And we're going to be talking about how to use different situations to evoke different emotions. Just pretty much anything, to be honest. Like everything's been self-taught for me as well. So I'm very on my toes. I'm very hyperactive. I'm very complimentary during shoots. You guys will see that a lot. You guys will actually get to see how I laugh in front of my clients. Like this is normally every picture that you've seen of my clients laughing. It's because I'm doing something behind the scenes that they're laughing at. So you guys will actually get to see that, which is pretty ridiculous. And we're going to be going with some models and we're going to be shooting around Brooklyn. We're going to be going around the streets and it's going to be super fun. And I'm super excited because I've never had people actually watch me shoot before.
Awesome. All right, another one of our business babes. Danny, it's your turn.
All right. So obviously not a photographer. In case you guys missed the memo, I'm like the only non-photographer in this little family. But I am the child of a wedding and portrait photographer, and I bring a lot of that growing up, carrying her lights and carrying her gear and watching what she did into what I do. So I'm teaching 2 classes. First is marketing for creatives. We're going to break down and call out the bullshit of the internet telling you that you need to do all the things for marketing, dial it back to your passion, and then build a foundation for a marketing strategy from there. So really a marketing strategy that's tailored to your individual business, even though we're going to be workshop style because it's going to start with your passion. And we're also going to talk about giving you the freedom to not have to be on every single platform and making really strategic choices about how to decide what platforms are the best fit for you while you're scaling, and then what it looks like to be big enough to be on every platform and manage that really well. And then I'm also talking about learning to empower from below and lead from below, because all of you guys are obviously talented photographers, and the hope would be that you want to become leaders in this industry, right? So learning how to lead and pour into the industry and give back into the industry, even if you're an individual contributor, even if you haven't yet become an educator, learning how to basically shine through your work and your skills and elevate your business that way, which then obviously elevates your photography work as well. That's what I got.
Yeah, it's super, super exciting. You know, I always want to see you guys getting out there, empowering others in the community. So I'm super excited about that course. All right, Terry, you're up, my girl.
Sweet. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Because it's on my laptop. So I'm good?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So I'm Terry Hoffert, and I am a boudoir specialist as well as a body image activist. So what I'm bringing to the workshop is plus positive, and it's about improving the diversity of bodies that we see in the boudoir industry specifically. I don't know about you guys, but I'm involved in a lot of different photography forums, and I get overwhelmed when a lot of people are like, I have a size 18 woman coming in and I don't know what to do with her. Okay, she's just a human like everybody else. So but there's a lot of confidence or lack of confidence in a lot of photographers when it comes to photographing women of a certain size, because they're afraid of offending or making her feel worse about herself. So I'm going to talk to you about a few of the ways that I communicate with those clients, because it all starts with communication and setting expectations about what you are capable of. I'm sure we've all had a client say to us, you're going to use your skinny lens, right? The answer is no. We don't have skinny lenses and all that good stuff, but we will flatter them. But we also have an amazing model coming. I think she's from Seattle, right, Lola? Yeah, so she's coming from Seattle. She's amazing. You can follow her on Instagram. The Plus Pioneer, Plus Pioneer, I think it's her Instagram handle. And she's gorgeous. She's got a cute little pixie cut and just like phenomenal cheekbones. Like, she's gorgeous. So we're going to be doing 2 classes, I believe, on the same day in the Airbnb. So on the 11th is when our classes happen. So 9 o'clock and 1 something.
Yeah, 9 and 1. You're right.
Yeah, but basically how it's going to work is I'm going to do a little talk first about why it's so important to me. I'll tell you a little bit about that. Before I even started into boudoir photography, I had my own boudoir photo shoot done. And as a plus size woman, all I got back were headshots. Like, literally. And I was like, I've got a 34-inch inseam. Like, I've got long fucking legs and they're beautiful. And like, she projected her own insecurities on me, I would assume, and didn't really know what to do with my body. So that's when I started really looking at like looking into the boudoir industry and realizing that there was a huge need at the time. This was 3 years ago, so it's gone a bit better, which is good. But even still, I went through the Association of International Boudoir Photographers directory. They have like tons of photographers listed there. Some of them may be you. And everyone, so I went through 100 websites. And out of the 100, I looked through all the websites. Everyone's like, we're going to empower you. You feel good at any size, shape, whatever. However, only like 30% had like one plus size woman on their website, like over the size of 14. And then out of that 30%, there was only like 5 that had more than 5 images of a plus size woman. So it's still lacking in the industry, and this is a huge market. Like, that's the biggest thing for photographers to know, but it comes with gaining that confidence in yourself that you're not going to offend a woman by making her feel beautiful. Like, it's not possible. And realizing that plus size bodies are the same as any size bodies. It's just a shape, and it's just light, and it's just shadow, and it's how you make it work for you. So we're going to do some shooting all up in the Airbnb. I've got a few days to kind of like play around before you guys come to me. So we'll probably have some really good ideas. But I also have a posing guide that I may or may not be giving you guys. So the Confident Curves posing guide PDF for you guys. So it's like my 10 most favorite poses. So yeah, I don't know if Lola knew I was going to do that, but I think
You had hinted about it a few times, but I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, but it's a good one, and it helps. It's a good start for sure. So I will be giving that to the people that come to the class. There's no way to bribe you to come to my class. I don't mean it that way. Sorry to the other instructors. But
I'm having handouts too.
$50 at time.
But if you act now, but wait, there's more. No, just kidding. There isn't more. You just get to hang out with me and my crazy hair and my mess. So, but it will be a good time and it will be fun. And I make weird sound effects when I shoot, so you'll get to hear that. But you'll also hear how I talk to a client and really make them feel comfortable. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
I love it. And for those of you who haven't heard me preach it a million times, Terry's posing guide is one of my absolute favorites for boudoir. Really, really not only inspiring, but super helpful. So that is a huge bonus for you guys. And also, as you guys can see, we have 3 speakers left here, but a big theme throughout all, I think, of our courses is just getting work for your portfolio that you want clients to see. And also kind of getting out of that uncomfortable zone where you're talking about shooting these diverse groups, but it's just not showing in your portfolio, as Terry just mentioned. So this gives you a huge, huge opportunity to break into a lot of those markets and embrace more people that you want to be photographing. So, all right, Jamie, you are next, my girl.
Hey, hi everyone. I took some notes because I'm like ultra nervous. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm from Indiana and I'm a mom and I love shooting documentary and like really moody portraits. I shoot a lot of personal work and I don't share a lot of it for a reason because kind of been like on like a, I don't know, it's like to keep my work to myself. Really, I like to share some of my favorite stuff, but I love shooting silhouettes. And about 2 or 3 years ago, I started a project called That Last Little Bit of Light. And I really just started it with my girls, and it turned into something that people started hiring me to do. And I have clients who hire me just to shoot silhouettes. And we'll hang out for about an hour at twilight and we get lots of awesome images. And I have a minor obsession with the sky. So I'm really hoping that we can incorporate the sky while we're in New York. I love the skyline, but I'm hoping we can get on the roof, Lola. So either that or a bridge somewhere. A big reason why I'm passionate about silhouettes is because I have 2 girls with special needs, and I also struggle with social anxiety. So faceless images are just like kind of what I do. It's just, it's just me. It's just what I like to do, and I like to be different. So I want to encourage you guys to to do something different, get weird. I'm going to shoot some weird stuff. I want to get really weird and creative, and I'm open to shooting at night or even starting really early in the morning. And I want to talk about how to process a little bit with sky photos. And so we'll be doing a lot of backlight, low light stuff, and how to get your clients to do weird poses to get some fun action images. Also, I have some tricks on settings to make sure you get really sharp photos every time, and how to predict beautiful skies. I have a couple of tricks for that, and how to find locations. But honestly, a big reason why I'm excited to do silhouettes in New York is because it's challenging. So if you can learn to do silhouettes in New York, you can do them anywhere. Honestly, it's going to be awesome. So that's about it, unless you guys have any questions.
You're so cute.
I think I'm going to have a family model. I'm going to try to get a family. So I want to do work with kids. And I know that's different than everyone else, but and I think the family I'm asking is going to be a mom and a dad too. So if those of you who really like to work with couples, you know, we'll all have something to shoot.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And Lola, I know that you had something on the schedule about shooting at night. Like,
yes, we have an optional night shoot.
Yes, and I'm so excited for that because you can do a lot with the lights in New York at night.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm hoping to get, we'll take some time, the speakers, to really scout out locations for you guys and figure out what's going to be the coolest. And I'm hoping we can definitely find some neon lights,
yes,
and some really cool stuff to shoot, and just
I'm
kind of walk around and get to know each other.
I'm actually going to try and see if there's a possibility of me finding some smoke bombs for some of the shoots too.
Oh my gosh, that'd be fun.
Awesome. Okay, Jessica, what are you shooting, girl?
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I am from Michigan, and I am teaching self-portraits, and also I am teaching with Twyla, but she already talked about that. But my self-portrait class, I am going to go over how I get my focus sharp, why I use an intervalometer and not a remote. I don't like remotes at all. Why, particularly why I use an intervalometer, because I move a lot in my self-portraits. That's really important to me. I made notes too, because you know how much I like speaking. Lola. I'm also going to talk about multiple exposures and shooting through things, because I do that a lot in my self-portraits. My posing and my lighting preferences, and my self-portraits have been a really big self project for me, and they're really important to me. So, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, first off, every one of Jessica's self-portraits that she posts anywhere has a million comments about how killer they are and how emotive they are. And I love the way that she uses movement in her self-portraits. It's not just your standard, even though there are killer self-portraits out there that don't use movement, she uses it a lot, as well as double exposures and stuff. So I'm super excited to learn from her. And I think a lot of us have also discussed how self-portraiture can be really, really healing for a lot of us. So I'm hoping that you guys can use that and take it home and, heal some shit you got going on, girl. All right, Kayla, you're wrapping it up for us, girl.
Okay, hey guys, I am doing the maternity portion of the workshop, and the maternity style that we're going to be focusing on is intimate and boudoir style photography. So with that comes a few different things that we need to discuss, like client comfortability and client expectations, because it really is, you're combining two different types of sessions, really. You're combining an intimate and boudoir style along with a maternity session. So by doing that, you need to really set your client expectations, and you also need to work on their comfortability. Because generally, in my experiences, when I am booking a boudoir session, clients typically book this at a peak of their confidence. They're coming in and they're ready to rock their boudoir session. With maternity, they're excited and they want to document this time in their life, but it's not necessarily the peak of their confidence. Even the tiniest, most, magazine-worthy, model-esque type women that come in that are pregnant, they have a baby bump, and as photographers and everybody else in the world, we look at them and we're like, oh my gosh, you guys are precious, you're perfect, you're adorable, you're cute, you're everything. And their response is, I feel like a whale, right? Like, that's what they always say. So when you're mixing this type of maternity photography, you need to really work with their level of confidence. You also need to really work with your expectations with them. They are still pregnant. You want to book them usually around their, depending on if this is their first, second, or third child, and we'll talk about kind of when to book that. You want to book those, between 32 to 36 weeks pregnant. They're going to look very pregnant, and you make sure that they're aware of that. I mean, they want that, but they're also, they do kind of struggle with that. So you need to make sure that their expectations are there. Also, with an intimate style session with maternity, you need to be aware of their modesty level. Sometimes they're not. Usually, from my experiences, when women book these sessions, they have two goals with this type of a session. They either want to document and glorify this time in their life and their bodies for themselves, and it still be a very connective type session to the child that they're carrying, or they're wanting it, to gift as kind of a gift to their significant other, and it be more of a sexual type session. These are two very different types of sessions that can be done with little to no clothes. So you need to figure out where they're headed with their session, why they're booking your session. And based on their answer and based on their goal, you're going to pose these sessions very differently. You're going to do these sessions two totally different ways. So we're going to talk about how to achieve that, how to pose that differently. Some clients, if it's more of kind of a sexual type intimate session, a lot of the times women just feel strange being super connected with their baby and hands all over the baby while they're trying to maybe, be sexy toward their significant other or, something like that. So we're going to go over how to distinguish the two different types and also set their expectations beforehand. And a lot of women come in and they do want to document this type of session, but they're also, because it's not specifically a boudoir session, sometimes they're afraid to be a little intimate or show the skin. For example, I had a client this was probably 3 or 4 years ago. She actually brought in images from my website. It was a nude maternity session. And she showed me, she's like, I want this exactly. But she showed up in a cotton maxi skirt and a tank top and wouldn't show any skin at all. And she was unhappy with her images. And I mean, there was only so much that I could do personally because she wanted a nude session, but she wouldn't get out of a cotton maxi skirt and a tank top. So I do take the blame for that at the time because there was kind of some miscommunication, and I could have done things to be able to help her still show some skin, but still also kind of find that level of modesty. I live in Arkansas. It's a very conservative area where I live in. So a lot of women who are still willing to book these, they're not still wanting to just bare it all. They're still very conservative women. They're not wanting to, they're not wanting to be naked in front of the camera. So there are different ways that you can still achieve that very intimate, very beautiful, very sexy, boudoir-esque maternity session without them having to just, strip down and be naked. We can do that with robes. We can do that with blankets. We can do that with chunky sweaters. There are so many different ways that we can incorporate all of these different things to make sure that it is still very intimate, but also making sure that that customer is satisfied and that they are comfortable with doing that. There's a lot that goes into that. And of course, we're going to be shooting a model. So you're going to get to come in up close and personal with me, see how I shoot. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to shoot by yourself. And one of the things that I really want to work with you guys on this is I don't want you guys to walk away from the workshop and shoot exactly the way that I shoot. I don't want you guys to go home and do everything exactly the way that I do. I'm going to give you the tools and the skills from this workshop to be able to go home and implement this into your own business. So whether or not you're shooting maternity right now, you're not going to have to go home and rebrand your business or change up everything that you're doing in order to use what I'm giving you. You're going to be able to apply this to a brand that you have spent months or years building, and just take those tools and apply it to what you have already established and built. So that's kind of what you can expect from my class.
Awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for everybody's class. I know I've said that about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times now. But I'm so excited for everybody's class. And I wanted to address, as you can see, we're all really fucking quirky and weird and fun. And so I've had a lot of emails saying, if I'm a beginner photographer, is this workshop for me? If I am a little weird, is this workshop for me? If I'm a loner, is this workshop
100%.
And I want you all to feel comfortable with the fact that all of our educators make it a point to make sure that you're walking out of there feeling comfortable with what you've learned. They can't necessarily spend days on end individually with you, but all of them are willing to sit down if you have some questions. It's really important that all of us understand that we are there for those 3 days to help all of you. So I don't want you to be scared to ask questions. No questions are dumb. I really want to make it a point that you guys know that, because I know that there's a lot of fear, especially if it's your first time attending a workshop. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the Safehouse workshop link in the comments. I just did it there. So you can go take a look at the rest of the information. There are pictures of the studio that we're shooting in up on there. There's also more information about the other people that are going to be there, like our bartender and Twyla's amazing husband, who's going to be making some delicious food for all of you. There's a lot of information on there as well. And I also do want to mention that Danielle Gunther is also going to be there. She couldn't be here tonight, but she's going to be teaching a course called Embrace the Chaos, where she's going to be shooting a family in a kitchen setting, and really just embracing all of the mess and all of the imperfections that come with being a family and being a mother. And so I think that's really exciting for a lot of you as well. So I want to take a couple seconds to let you guys plug some questions in the Q&A box if you have them, maybe 10 or 15 minutes answering questions, because we are on here about an hour. So let's see. I'm going to go back to the answered questions first.
I was just going to say there are a few. Beth has been asking about the recorded classes. Caleb asked which classes are being recorded. I've been trying to answer them slowly on text, but if you want to read them so everyone else can see them too.
Beth just followed me on Instagram. Thanks, Beth. I'll follow you back, girl.
Let's see. I'm going to let you guys answer some of these questions, or at least if you have anything to add. So Beth asked what kind of gear she should plan on bringing with us. I think me and Chad discussed.
For everyone.
That's for what?
Enough for me, at least.
What? That's from you?
What kind of beer did you say? Oh, gear.
Gear.
You said beer. I was like, enough for me.
A lot of beer, please. A lot.
Chad's brain is. So me and Chad and a bunch of us actually have discussed this before, and I think it's super because we've gotten emails about which lenses should I rent, should I bring an additional camera body, et cetera, et cetera. First off, personally, I think it's super important that you're bringing the lenses that you have and that you can learn to shoot and get better with. Unless you're going to rent a 35 and you don't have one, but you're ready to invest in one, I don't know that it's super beneficial. And you guys can kind of jump in with your thoughts as well. But I just think that if you're bringing a lens that you don't own or you don't have regular access to, then it kind of, when you go back, there's more of a learning curve when it comes to the lens that you're usually.
Oh, can I jump in? I have something to say real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that okay? Okay. I say bring what you feel most comfortable shooting with, like your whatever gear set feels like home to you, because a lot of times on like the live shoots, like I know Twyla kind of spoke to this, but I feel like in previous workshops for me where I participated in live shoots, it feels like you have these amazing models and you want to make the best possible content for yourself as possible. And like, I know that you feel that pressure. And so for me, what worked for me is like, I stuck to like what I know that I love and what I know I can make great work in. And I really just focused on that instead of trying to also learn like a new, or shoot with a lens I'm not as familiar with, or shoot with something new while also trying to, does that make sense? Like, I feel like you can really take more away from the instructors if you're not also trying to learn new gear at the same time that you are learning what they're teaching you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Same.
Mm-hmm. But
then again, so when I answered Beth, I said just bring all your gear, bring whatever you want. Only because like when Lola was in town, I know, and this will be my short rant, and when you come to my class, I'll rant a little bit more. But I know everyone's big on the 35, and everyone says, "Oh, I only shoot 35." Blah 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 blah.
Guilty.
I am very, and I wouldn't say anti-35, but
She's the anti-35.
I'm very much a proponent of there's a right time to use each lens, and using the same lens all the time is not ideal unless you're doing the same thing. Because I understand like Twyla and other people do shoot a lot of the same things, so obviously they're going to use the same lens for the same results. Me, I shoot commercial, so I'm always thrown into a different situation and scenario. So in my class, in the studio, we will talk very much about when to use studio light, when to use natural light, when to use a longer lens versus a shorter lens. So I would say if there's a lens that you may not use as much, but you've seen other stuff that you want to use more, bring that one also. Because with ours, we'll have a little bit more space that we can kind of break off and slow down. But I agree with Kevin, like in groups you don't get a lot of time, so you want to make sure you get a good solid piece for your portfolio and that kind of stuff. But also bring the lenses that you want to learn how to use and you want to play with, because you're not going to ever figure out that lens if you don't practice with it.
And also, like, if you're like, for instance, if you're a Nikon shooter, I'll let you shoot with one of my lenses if you want to. I don't have no problems handing off one of my.
Yeah.
All my stuff's kind of beat the hell, and so like you can deal with that. But
I'm Canon, and I have like 15 different lenses, so you're more than welcome to use any of mine.
I love you guys. Okay, so let's talk about, there's a lot of questions about recorded classes and if they're going to be available. So there are options to buy the courses recorded. Obviously, I would be jipping you if I didn't mention that the experience is not going to be the same. And because of that, it is priced, each individual class is $49, or you can get all classes that are recorded for $4.99. And they are available on the website, which I linked in the comments. If you purchase a full ticket and come with us in New York City, you will have access to all of those recordings as well. So you can focus more on shooting and getting to know the instructors and really taking it all in, and then later be able to look at them when you get home. So I saw a lot of questions about that. And I think somebody asked which classes will be available.
Caleb did, and I said I was just going to record me the whole time.
Caleb, my husband, asked which classes are going to be recorded. So all of the classes, all of the photography classes are going to be recorded, if that makes sense, including Chad's Better Than IPS course.
So that answers LaDon's question.
So everybody here, all of their classes, including Danielle's, will be recorded. Danny's is the only course that will not be recorded. So I think that answers that question. Let's see. Oh, LaDon, that's your question. Awesome. So does anyone else have any specific questions? It can be about the workshop specifically, or about any of the topics that any of the educators talked about.
Just from past workshops, if I can, like for equipment, do not forget to bring a battery charger, extra batteries, and memory cards. I've been to workshops where literally people forgot all of those things. And I know it sounds like a stupid thing, like of course I'm a photographer, I would bring that. Make sure you formatted your cards beforehand, because you don't want to get there and have like a wedding or something on a card that you maybe or maybe didn't download at home or upload at home, and then you're like, can I delete it? I don't know. What do I do? So this way, just get her done.
Perfect.
Also a memory card reader. I know lots of people bring their laptops, and I get tons of people every year that forget their memory card readers, so they don't get to move them over to even work on.
Yeah.
So will both of Twyla's and Kevin's classes be recorded? Yes, both of them will be recorded. They're very, they're similar in content. So whether you, depending on how you built your schedule, you won't be missing out on any of the content, but that way you'll be able to see both locations. Because one of those will be in the studio and then the other one will be in the B&B. So long answer to your short question is that yes, they will both be recorded.
Although she and I, well, I'll get back to that later. Just kidding, sorry. I had something to say that I thought I was going to say, but never mind, I'm not going to.
Let me read through. Anyone else have any other questions? No, Rachel.
No.
No. If you don't bring a laptop, then you can just hang out and enjoy everyone's company.
Right.
Instead of being, and you have to put your phone down too. You just have to have fun.
I mean, I'm going to be on my laptop the whole time, but...
But you don't have to. It's Kevin's laptop.
Oh,
you know that most of us will be running back to our laptops after every shoot, wanting to see what we got. Let's not lie about it, but you don't have to have a laptop. Absolutely not. Anybody else?
Can I just say that, like, I don't know a ton about workshops, but I really feel like this is one of the most well-rounded workshops I've ever seen. Like, you have a little bit of everything going, and I just think it's amazing. So.
Yay!
Oh, and I have something to add to that too about workshops. Just like at the first workshop I ever went to, that's where I met Twyla. That actually, my interaction with Twyla is actually like, I feel like that's like why I'm here today, because I went to her and I said, Twyla, I had never shown anyone my Skin Like Dawn work before because I was scared to. I was scared that people wouldn't like it, and I'd been publishing it online anonymously for like 2 years.
Wow.
And I never showed anyone like attached to my name. And I said, Twyla, will you come over here and
I was like
look
in
at this?
disbelief when I saw this. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like,
And I was like, will you look at this Instagram of mine and will you tell me what you think and if it's bad? And then I handed her my phone.
and
I
then
was
I
just
slapped him in the face. I looked at it and I just slapped him.
and she was like, you have to tell people that you do this. And that's kind of like how it like got started for me. And so like that's the only reason that I'm even like.
And that was a year ago in New York City, so we get to have a little reunion.
Like, we're like coming full circle here. But my point in saying that is that like these types of events where you meet with other creatives who really empower you open so many doors just by them saying, yes, do that project, yes, shoot what you want, do whatever. That opened for me, that opened a huge door and gave me permission to do something that I've been really wanting to do for a long time. So it's important to do this.
Yeah, I was just gonna add on to, like, my favorite part about going to retreats or workshops or anything, like, of course you learn from the panelists or like the instructors, but you also learn from each other, like the people that are on the ground shooting with you. And it can be anything. It might not even be whatever course you're taking is about. It can be like a business practice that you've never heard of in your photography community back home. Like I go to workshops and retreats to like fill up my cup, like away from my city, away from my photography community here, because I know I will always come back with something new and different that nobody else is doing here, in terms of marketing or anything like that. It's just really good to get a fresh perspective, because when you're in this, you just see this. But when you get out there and you see other things, you're like, what? There's so much I could be doing.
Yes, I don't think that is talked about enough, is that one of the incredible things about workshop is just building relationships and not necessarily networking, although that's a great added bonus, just getting to know people. And I think that's something that we have to do in our business, but just building genuine connections with other people, whether they're on the same level as you or not. So we'll go ahead and end it here. If you guys, since you guys were here, I'm going to send out the replay. I'll send it out probably, give me by tomorrow afternoon. I will have it out probably tonight, but don't hold me to that. By tomorrow afternoon, I'll have it out. So in case you guys came here a little bit late, you can catch up on the beginning. I'm so thankful that all of you stayed this long. I know that all of us can talk and we're really passionate about what we are teaching and what we're doing. And thank you to all of our amazing speakers for taking time out of your schedules to be here. I know you're all busy bees and doing incredible things. But I'm so excited about this, and it's our first one. I'm super passionate about it, all the diversity that's happening and all of the passion that is in all of our speakers. And I hope you guys can see it here and when you're with us in New York, because all of you are coming. Right? I will go ahead and post the link in the comments one more time if you guys want to grab it. If not, it'll be in the email that I send out with this replay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.